So see if you think either of these lawsuits have any merit to them. First of all, and they both involve the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. One is a guy in Florida named Blue Denton. Blue Denton, Ronald Blue Denton, has filed a class action lawsuit against Netflix because of their legendary failure. And he says he got Netflix only for this fight, and they did not deliver what they were supposed to deliver. You know, they had a terrible product, and therefore
many users weren't able to watch.
Of course.
The complete fight.
That's right. So they say 108 million people watched the fight. That's the numbers. But almost everyone had streaming issues throughout the night, or a lot of people did anyway.
I figured this was going to come.
A lawsuit?
Yeah.
Because they didn't fulfill what they were supposed to. Yeah,
and it might be one of those class action deals.
It is a class action.
But I would imagine that Netflix would say, you can't sue us because this was unforeseeable.
I'm sure.
Well, I guess, but if
isn't that usually like the standard? If, for instance, if someone spills milk in a grocery store, you know, they have to clean that up.
Yes.
Because that occurred.
Yeah.
This is just their servers were unable to handle, or whatever it was, the demand.
But if you bought milk in a grocery store and got it home and it was half full, or, you know, missing.
Well, I was meaning more like you slip and fall on the milk in the store.
Yeah, but this is different to me. This is just you buy a product and it's not what they advertised. You didn't get a decent product. You know, if you got milk home and it was sour, I think you get your money back. I mean, there's nothing else to it. But if the guy he's claiming I want a class action lawsuit so that everybody gets who bought it simply for the fight, and he got Netflix simply for the fight. So he paid for a month of it, which is, you know, if you get the premium, $20-some. I, think he's got a little bit of a case of I want at least part of my money back, you know, because they did not deliver a product.
Is this one of those deals where if you do become a class action, that you might get 38 cents?
Yeah.
In a year?
Well, why would you not get your money back for the month?
You never get any of those full back on those class action suits.
Well, I understand, but in my opinion, if you paid, I mean, he says, and I believe him, I got Netflix for this fight. He pays whatever it is, $12 for the fight. It's an awful product. He said I couldn't hardly see anything. Then those people should get $8 back.
Well, I mean, then I should too. I had trouble streaming it.
You should sign on to it.
But I don't think it'll be that much.
Well, but I mean, I guess what I'm saying, I don't either. I think it should be. I mean, but he says he's limited.
So you think Netflix is wrong?
Yeah.
Are they? I mean, they defrauded the public.
I think if people sign up for a product, I mean, you've already had Netflix forever. That's one thing. This guy said, I would never have gotten Netflix except for this fight. I wanted to see this fight, so I plunked down my $12 for the month, and the fight was worthless, and I didn't see it. I think that's tantamount to I'm going to buy a bottle of milk for $4. It's sour when I get home. You give me my $4 back.
Yeah, but you can easily replace that. I mean, it's like they ran out of milk, and you went to the store to get milk, and they're out of milk. You didn't get what you were hoping to get.
Well, but he paid money and got an inferior product. He didn't get what he was hoping to get. And I think if you got a meal at a restaurant, and you said this is undercooked and it's terrible, generally they say, okay, here's your money back, or they give you a different. I think they'd probably give you the choice. If you bought an item at a grocery store and you didn't like it for whatever, and it was substandard, which clearly this was, then you take it back to the store. I think they'd probably give you your money back or replace it, and you'd probably have your choice. So they may be able to say, we'll give you a month free or your money back. And I mean, I do think that would be fair because they did not deliver on what they promised. And I didn't even watch it, but from what everybody I've heard said, they had awful
I have a
issues.
feeling when you sign up for Netflix, somewhere in that tiny print absolves them of anything like this.
That's probable.
Probably true.
Yeah,
And is this one of those deals where if you do subscribe to Netflix, like Blue, could he watch it now as many times as he wants? Is the fight still available to view?
Yeah, it is. It is still. And now I imagine.
Did you see Tyson's bare butt?
No, I bet not. I don't know. But I went to Netflix the other day to watch something else, and it was front and center. Like you can watch it right now. I don't know about his butt.
You get the undercard?
I bet you do. Yeah, I would say probably so. But that's interesting about when you sign up for all that, I'm sure it does absolve them of it. But
because if you look at there's a commercial for it might be AT&T Internet, and it says right there on the commercial, we reserve the right to slow speeds during busy times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there
They
on the
just tell you right
commercial.
up front, you know.
Yeah.
It may not work when you need it to.
Look what we've become as consumers, you know. It would be like walking into a restaurant and a sign would hang up that said, "We might not get your order right," you know. So that's just on you, you know. That's the same thing. If you walked into McDonald's today and there was a sign that said, "Your order may be wrong and your food may not be quite as good as you think it's going to be," we'd all go, "What is that?" Yeah. But yet a AT&T or a Netflix will take, "This might not work." Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we just sign it right away. I'm depressed as a I'm depressed. I'm depressed.
You need something uplifting in the next hour because you are representing this show and your favorite sport.
That's right.
To a room full of dignitaries, I'm led to believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
I may not be as good as advertised.
Yeah.
Let's put that out there.
Okay.
I may not.
Is this what we're wearing?
Yeah, this is what I'm wearing. Yeah, I'm putting this out there. Yeah. I am in full slump.
He's asked you that like 3 times now.
Yes, yes, it
I
is.
think he's hoping you're going to change,
No,
but you're not.
I am not. I am in full slump. I'll be just like Netflix. I'll tell you, this is going to be bad.
Buffer.
Buffer.
Just stand when the ball comes through. You just spin your finger.
I'm gonna stand there and buffer. It's just sit and spin.
Buffering.
That's right.
Infinite buffering, they called it.
Now, here's this lawsuit. I think has even more merit. It's not a lawsuit yet, but a sports attorney says, "I believe there will be multiple lawsuits over this fight." And Biggie, as a gambler, I'll let you speak to this. It became quite obvious that Jake Paul took it easy on Mike Tyson. And after the fight, he said, "I didn't want to pummel the guy, you know." Well, the sports attorney says one of the main bets was, will Jake Paul knock out Mike Tyson? And after the fight, he's like, "I didn't think anybody wanted to see me knock him out." And it's like, well, you really need to give your best effort here. I mean, you basically threw that bet. You know, you didn't give your full effort. So that bet became something people lost a lot of money on.
Yeah, but that's a fool's bet to me from the start. I know you can't think like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with that.
With him tanking?
Yeah.
But
he didn't tank. He just didn't.
He didn't knock him out.
He may not have. He may have held back his punches.
He did not.
Yeah.
I was thinking, isn't that the same as a team not scoring a touchdown when they clearly could late in a game, and it changes? Like if you're up by 6 and
changes the line,
right? So like you cover at 7, but instead of going into the end zone, you
take
lay down.
That's happened a few times because it they want to run out the clock because they don't care about your gambling numbers. But if they go in,
that's a strategy. This is not a strategy. This is just him being nice. You know, I don't want to beat up Mike Tyson.
But Jake Paul probably would say, "I didn't have anything to do with the gambling. I didn't tell you to bet on me to knock him out."
But when he says, "I took my foot off the pedal," which he did, the sports attorney says that is not giving an effort. And when you bet on that, you have in good faith, you think both fighters will give their full effort.
I don't see this going much anywhere.
I just find that completely wrong.
But this is why boxing has been fixed since the start.
Yeah.
Virtually since 2 men stepped into a ring.
The sports attorney says the expectation that this is a real fight sanctioned by the state of Texas, not an exhibition. When Jake Paul says, "I wanted to take it easy on him, nobody wanted to see me knock him out," and clearly he did, that makes it an exhibition and not a sanctioned fight. Therefore, the gambler should not lose who bet on him to knock him out.
Everybody knew that it was an exhibition.
But it was not presented like that. It was presented as this is a fight. And that's how they marketed it and build it, you know. And it is sanctioned. It was sanctioned by whoever in Texas, you know.
You don't see a lot of fights in Texas, I guess.
No. This is one attorney saying this.
Yeah.
And he says when Jake Paul not only obviously let up on it, then said later, "I let up on him," you could get a lawsuit out of this. I
don't see it. I mean, what about Mike Tyson? He got tired. Are you going to get mad at Tyson because he didn't train well enough?
No, he has no problem if you give your best effort, which he thinks Tyson did, then it's okay. When you deliberately don't give your best effort, then that changes everything. You know, that changes how the fight. I mean, he easily could have knocked Mike Tyson out, making money for the people that bet on that. Scott, you're talking about boxing and this one sports lawyer who says there could be a lawsuit out of this. Go ahead.
Right, and the same thing goes with basketball. Joel Embiid says he's going to sit out every other game. Well, that's crazy. But if the Hornets are hosting the Lakers and LeBron James decides to sit out, well, you bought tickets because you want to see LeBron play. So Isn't that tantamount to the same kind of thing?
Well, I don't know. You're allowed to play the players you want to play. I mean, the lines are always like that. You know, that it is getting into a gray area because before the season, the coach of the 49ers said nothing about Christian McCaffrey's injury. So the first game, a lot of people bet on the 49ers, assuming McCaffrey would be there. He missed 9 games. I mean, he didn't come back till the middle of the year. And so a lot of, like, fantasy football players drafted him first, and they're paying money, you know, these online gambling things, and you're betting on them, and then, like, right at game time, it's like, oh, he's not going to play. Well, then he's out 9 weeks, so a lot of people accused the coach of the 49ers of hiding that because of their opponent, but, of course, it affects gamblers, too. I don't know. That of course, you know, the NBA has been criticized mightily for their sitting players.
They're still trying to figure out the resting the star players.
That whole thing has become a huge black eye on the NBA. It's like you're not playing your players. Fans are buying tickets to see these games and so forth. Yeah, I guess, Scott, that's similar to it. But to me, it would be more like a guy going out there and intentionally missing layups, you know, intentionally not scoring when he could. Because this is what Jake Paul did. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. I think the interesting part about this lawyer's argument is that you've said this is a real fight. You've billed it that way. You promoted it that way. It's sanctioned that way. And essentially, it was just a fluff piece, you know, which I think both fighters knew. And probably if you had any good sense, you knew that.
But I think that probably has happened before, too, because I think I'm trying to remember back when Muhammad Ali was past his prime and Leon Spinks beat him up, took the title from Muhammad Ali. This was 78, maybe?
Yeah,
I can't recall the year.
Spinks, yeah.
I think Spinks took it easy on Ali.
Do you?
Yeah, he could have knocked him out, but he didn't.
Yeah, but he didn't say it afterwards, though, so he had plausible deniability. Then Jake Paul says...
Yeah, but those were actual, honest, sanctioned heavyweights.
Yeah, they were.
This is a nonsensical story.
The
a YouTube guy who's boxed for 5 years and a retiree.
No, I agree. But the lawyer's point is, well, then you should have said that. You should have said this is an exhibition and it's just for fun. But that's not the way.
But it was marked an exhibition, I believe.
Not according to him. He said it's sanctioned by Texas, and it was like Mike Tyson, who you got. You know, I didn't see it marked as an exhibition. I mean, but of course you know it. Of course,
I just feel like this is a common sense here too.
But if you bet on Paul,
then that's on you.
Oh, I disagree with that. Now, if I bet on somebody to knock somebody else out, and clearly he can do it, and he doesn't, I would be angry at that. I don't know if it merits a lawsuit, but it's like, well, wait a minute, you didn't do what you were supposed to do in the ring. That's not on you. That's on him. He should have. I mean, but of course, this is just an exhibition. You know, this is just how it is. I mean, to me, that's like a quarterback having a ball in his hand to throw it for a touchdown and not, even when the game is not in doubt. You know, he just eats it. Because, of course, if it's a real match, Tyson could have knocked him out in the last round, and he'd have been like, dang, I took it easy on him, and then he knocked me out. You know, it could have. You expect the full strategic and physical, you expect their best, is basically what the guy's saying, and Paul didn't give it. Well, we can ask Lisa Lanier about it on Friday. She'll probably say there's not much there, but this one guy says expect some lawsuits on it.